So I just did an exercise with the Lord, and it's something that you can do, something that you can consider. And that is this: the healed version of yourself. What does that actually look like? It's so important because what is my goal in life? What do I want to be? How do I want to show up? Well, I want to be healed. I want to be whole. Well, what does that look like? Have you considered that? Because if you don't know what it looks like, then how do you know how to posture yourself to be in alignment with that, so you have an opportunity to become that, to walk in that? See, if I don't know what a healed, whole version of me looks like, how can I walk in it? So I need to identify that. I need to picture that. I need to visualize that. I need to see myself in that, so I can move in that identity. So when I did this for myself, I came to a realization that I just got to share. And it's personal, but if it helps somebody else, then it is what it is. My problem ain't sharing with other people stuff about me. My problem is shutting up. Anybody else got that problem? The Lord done told you to shut up and stop telling people all of your lovingly. Of course, He don't say it like that, but to be silent. And it just be knocking up against the back of your teeth. You like, I can't help it. So if it helps you in this moment, then it's worth it. So, and He did tell me I could tell this to y'all. So the healed version of me, this is what it looks like. Not having a different version of me for different people. Just being the same with each person that I meet. Having healthy relationships. Having priorities in their proper place. Making people feel loved, heard, and seen. Making sure I support and not disappoint the ones I love. Being proud of the person that I am. Being surrendered to Jesus. Being obedient. Having responsibilities like bills and all that stuff taken care of. What was so profound to me is that I tend to view myself as being a loner, as being someone who is cool being on their own, like me and Jesus and we good. But what I learned through this is that the healed version of me really desires relationship, really desires to be with other people. So then that means it is this unhealed version of me that is holding on to this loner identity. And if it's this unhealed version of me, that means there's some pains and some hurts that I have to deal with that's preventing me from having these healthy relationships. Because when I look at the healed version of me, more so than not, more of these items relate to me and another individual. Has to do with me and relationships. So the healed version of me really wants relationships. And that was an epiphany to me, because now I realize I gotta lean into that. Because when I'm honest with myself, at my core, I actually desire relationships. So now when I come into the presence of another, I'm not coming in the presence of another from that unhealed mindset that says, I don't want, I have an aversion to, I got to keep a distance from. I have to walk in the healed version of me that leans into another in such a way that says, this is what you desire, so face it, don't run from it, because the healed version of you wants this, and we have to be able to face it. See, I wrote down the healed version of me and what that looks like. What does that look like for you? Because this is what the Lord told me to do next. He says, now what do you need to do? So I had to write down the things that I need to do in order for me to walk in to this person, this version of me that is healed, right? And it is to be myself. I need to be more myself and to show up as myself, right? I really need to focus on loving others, and it's my natural tendency to do so. I think to do anything outside of that goes against who I naturally am, and I feel out of sorts like that. I'm not being my true self. To prioritize my activities, right? To love on myself a lot more, to stay at the feet of Jesus. So these are the things that I need to start doing every day in order to become a version of myself that's actually healed. So now when I wake up each day, I could have these things on my mind. Jennifer, these are the things that you need to do. So now when I go into situations, before I even engage another individual, it's just that reminder, Jennifer, make sure you be yourself. Be yourself. And that takes what? Loving on myself. Because you're beautiful just the way you are. Despite what others may have said or may have tried to make you feel, you are. So with all these things, now I have action items, right? Now I've actually sat here and reflected on it, but each day, now I got to do the work and I got to apply it. Because the Lord, he finishes off with this. He says, now go do this every day. Go do this every day. You see, some of us are wandering around haphazardly and are being led of the world. The world is, I tell you what, a current that will pull you in, and it'll pull you down the direction that it desires to go. And you will have to fight tooth and nail to get out of it, to go another direction. You have to make your mind up before you even get started with your day that you're not going to allow yourself to be swayed by the current, that you are going to do everything that you can, putting on your armor to make sure that you surrender and submit to the Lord, and together with the Lord, just as I've done here, that you do the work so that you and the Lord could well define that path that you need to walk on for that day, and you lean on the strength and the wisdom of the Lord to be able to walk down it boldly and courageously, and give you discernment so that you don't get swayed from it. So in this season, my suggestion is to do the deep dive into healing and restoration. What does that look like for you? I tell you what, we come up with all these strategies on how we're going to show up. Oh, I need to show up fearless. I need to speak up more. Well, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be like a lion. I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to be, someone that just speaks their mind. I'm going to be a warrior. I'm going to be so many things. You know what? The best thing you could be is whole. The best thing you could be is healed. That's the best way to show up on your job, to show up in your family, to show up in your church, to show up in your ministry, to show up for yourself. Baby, is healed, is whole. Pursue that in this season with Jesus Christ and walk in the identity that he has for you. I'm telling you what, you're going to, with that, change your environment. People will notice something different about you, and you will inspire them to seek healing and wholeness for themselves, right? You will inspire them to change as they see the change in you, as they see that you're walking in wholeness, that you are complete within yourself. And they're going to ask you questions on what did you do? And you're going to give them a testimony.